Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am Joretta Fernandez joining you this wonderful Wednesday morning, guys. It's Wednesday, the 12th of October. My goodness, the year's are almost out. I almost said November. Goodness, I wanted to rush a little bit faster. Good morning to all of you wonderful folks that's joining us this morning. Good morning to all the folks that tuned in way before 8 o'clock, just waiting. Persons like Beatrice Selby, I've been seeing you there. Mr. John Jones, you guys are the greatest, the best. I love each and every one of you. I love having you here. And it is going to be quite an interesting discussion today, as we always bring it. And we're going to be in the comment section, making sure that we pay attention to what your perspective is in every single matter. I am just being distracted by a Ayabo there that says good afternoon, that is joining us all the way from the UK. So good afternoon to you, Ayabo, all the folks that's joining us. I see Latoya De Souza joined all the way from region number 7, Bartica. Toyo, going on at your end. I hope all is well over there. See, Isabella Butters is there. Isabella says, good morning, Joretta. Happy to see you back. Yes, Isabella, I am back in the house. See, Edward Brooms is saying in class. Edward comes for the lesson, and I'm so happy to have him here each and every time. Claire Alexis Richmond, good morning to you. Claire Alexis, I don't worry with that third name. That one is a tongue twister for me. Sharon gets it right every single time. I see Edward Gonzalez is saying he's great. I see Roxanne Andrews in the house this morning. Good morning to you, Roxanne. I hope all is well at your end. Also, Gwyneth Anderson. Hey, Gwyneth, what's going on at your end, guys? I hope you are all having such a fantastic day. I mean, I woke up this morning feeling refreshed. I'm not going to lie. I woke up this morning feeling extremely refreshed. I think this is one of my better mornings. So I'm good to go. I see Edward Gonzalez is joining us. And you know where Edward joins us from? Edward is joining us from no place else but the Bronx. So we're happy to have him here with us this morning. We're always happy to have him with us. So Edward, what's going on? You need to tell me what's going on in the Bronx. There's no point coming through from the Bronx if we don't know what's going on in the Bronx. Let me just put it like that. I see Ingrid King is also on with us this morning. Hey, good morning to you, Ingrid. What's going on at your end? I hope all is well. Rudy Hines says, good morning, FY family. Present midday director. You see, you have to be Guyanese to be able to read that sentence. If you're not Guyanese, you can't really read that sentence. So good morning to you, Rudy. I see, is it Mohammed? I'm not getting the first name. I'm not gonna try it. I'm sorry. Sheena Hazel says, good morning, director. Where's our boy Sherrod? Sheena, I'm good. Sheena, you good with me? Come on. I see Colleen also. Colleen Roberts in the comment section early day this morning. Good morning to you, Colleen. I hope all is well at your end. Also, Beryl Crawford. Good morning to you, Beryl Crawford. What's going on? Guys, you got to start early this morning by sharing the stream. It's absolutely important that we get this information out and about. Icing Koja, good morning to you. I hope all is well at your end. Where the folks who joins us from Region 1, I want to see the Region 1 people coming through. It's absolutely important for us to get those persons in here, get them into the discussion, have them integrate their thoughts in the comment section. It is very important that we get perspectives that are wide and across the board. I see Rudolph Benjamin is in the house with us this morning also. Good morning to you, Rudolph. What's going on at your end? I hope all is well. Let me know. This one, has been a while since I asked you what you're having for breakfast and all of those things. And where are you joining us from? This is going to be the morning. What are you having for breakfast? Where are you joining us from? Let us integrate. Let us share our thoughts. Let us start off on a light note. Let us have these icebreakers early this morning, especially for the folks that's joining us for the very first time. If you're joining us for the first time, just let us know there in the comment section. We always give out a warm welcome to all first timers. So let me know if you're joining us for the first time. What's going on out front parts at morning neighbor. Like I said, you gotta be Guyanese to be able to read these things. I see Yolanda Thomas says Queens in the house. I there headed out to work. Good going. Be careful on the roadways there, Yolanda. I know the roadways there is not like the here. It's different. It's different there. So, but still be careful. I see Kylo Tech Clark says bonjour back in Jersey, Guyana was lovely. The heat is not for the weak though. Listen, I told Sherrod. Only this morning I was telling Sherrod as I came over here, like I have my TC in my hand. I'm like, oh my God, I'm still like hot just to get to the studio. But I was telling him that, when you travel to different places, you come back again and say, the map, this globe, they mapped this thing out wrong. Guyana somewhere closer to the sun because it's crazy hot here. And I did see Kylo Tech. I have been having the opportunity to see him and exploring a lot of things. He was in the session in the party front and center, enjoying living his best life. I see is it Romana? Man, I'm not getting that right. Good morning to you, sir. I hope all is well at your end. So sorry that I don't get the pronunciations intact as I should by now. I see Clifton Smith is there this morning saying good morning, FYI family. Great Wednesday to you all. I hope you are good out and about. I see Cheryl Bascom, Greenwich is in the house this morning, joining us all the way from Barbados. Who else is joining us from the Caribbean? Let me see the Caribbean people. Marlon Larma. Hey, Marlon, good morning to you. I hope all is well at your end. I am so great right now. It's great to be back. It's great to be having these conversations with you in the morning. Let me know what you're having for breakfast. I did not have breakfast yet, which is weird because I actually got up this morning on Coke, right? So cooking this morning, I still didn't have breakfast. Something is wrong with that. I see Candy Nalini in there. She says, good morning with a little heart. It's so sweet of you, Candy. I hope all is well at your end. Candy says, hello, hello, Jaretta, good morning. You know, when Candy says these things, I try to read it in Candy's voice. Candy has the most unique, she has the most unique voice. Sheridan's in the background laughing. He understands exactly what I'm saying. Linden is in the house this morning. Georgia, I see Dalton Ben is joining us all the way from Georgia this morning. I see Vanessa De Silva joining us from Linden this morning. Where are the competing areas? Come on, guys. Candy said, I know reach Candy early. Don't worry. It's all good to go. You can move to the front of the class still. It's still that time. I see Doreen Clark says, good morning, my FYI family and the viewing audience. Warren Figueroa is in the house this morning. Warren said, is it Nair from a GA? Man, Warren, no minutes this morning. Warren put us in English. I'm not, I'm not getting this, Warren. Okay, I see. I'm not sure Warren is, but I hope he's not saying good afternoon. But he probably is. Warren is always out and about. Warren does not stay put. He's always out and about. He says sharing the good news of the Lord, being that missionary. So we're happy of the work that he does. I see Fitz Gulliver. Good morning to you, Fitz Gulliver. Hope all is well at your end. Okay. All right, so Warren has decoded that message. He says, New Yorker from Georgia, Dalton Ben. Man, Warren, I could not have done that. Come on, I see. Is it Jennifer Loop? Says Jennifer's joining us all the way from Atlanta this morning. It's great to have you with us, Jennifer. I see. Is it Basil Clark is with us this morning also? Good morning to you guys. Like, let me know what you're having for breakfast. Let me know if you're going to be helping me with some new recipes, family recipes, or anything, so I can have an interesting kitchen experience at my house. God knows, I don't like to cook. I've been putting it out there, but you don't have to like to do it. You just have to do it. I see. Cheryl is saying, let Cheryl do breakfast for you. Man, look how you want to kill me now. I had a good. I had a good in this corner. you know. Cheryl, what's wrong with you? Come on. You want to choose violence to me with Cheryl cooking breakfast to me. No, we will have it. I see. I see Elizabeth. Basil Clarkson Jaretta is glowing this morning. Have a I don't know. Like I feel upbeat this morning. It's a great morning. Let me be honest with you guys. It's a great morning. I had a good sleep. I woke up feeling great, so I'm having a very relaxed morning. So compared to a lot of other days, this is one of my better days. I see Yolanda Thomas saying, I just drink some swank. I haven't had that in a little bit. I have to go back and make it super healthy. And this is a Guyanese thing, so we always out doing that. I see it. Marlon says just having some chai tea and bagel. Marlon, no, that's not Guyanese breakfast. I feel you. I hope you like the bagel. I don't know if I have gravitated to that taste as yet, but I'm going to try to get there. Hopefully, I had some better ones when I get back there. I see Tommy Gibbs is in the house this morning. Good morning to you, Tommy. I hope all is well. Good youngster. I'm not sure what's going on there in the comment section, but it's a conversation all by itself. Tommy's having a conversation with Beatrice in the comment section. You know, Tommy and Beatrice, y'all can slip into each other's inbox, right? But we love it when persons associate themselves here. We love it when you catch up here. It's just so amazing to see so many persons reconnect through these platforms. Warren is saying breakfast in Cambodia is chicken and rice. Well, they're different in Cambodia. I can tell you that. Chicken and rice for breakfast. We haven't gotten there as yet. I know Guyanese just don't go a day without eating rice. If they don't eat rice, they don't feel like if they ate. And that is just the way it is for the majority. It's just not a swooping um it's just not a swooping comment that actually involves everyone. So, because some people I know go without, right? I see my friend Candace Joris is saying, missing you, Jay. You know, Candace was here for like a little bit of 2 weeks, but I was away for like one of those weeks. So it's was absolutely great to unite with my friend over 20 years of friendship. You don't know what it's like to have a friend for over 20 years. That's just a next level of friendship. That becomes like a family member, you know? So Kenneth is like family, like sister, like blood. So it's good to have had you here, and I hope that you are fully rested from that flight. I see Tommy is saying, like the boss man, pressing his clothes. Like, Tommy got the camera in his place. Like, what is going on, Tommy? Like, you got a camera in this place. I got to be watching you. I see you, Tom. Ingrid Ambrose is saying mighty rising family. Oh, that I take that. I take that any day. I hope all is well there at your end. I hope that all of you are having some good days. You know, value family, value that time together. It's a very tough world that we're living in, and you can just at a click of the finger, your life can change. So make sure that you value people and care for people. Just be absolutely amazing souls as you go out into the world every single day. I see Facebook user is saying, I need to expose the autocracies of the government. Yeah, that is so true, you know. But we continue to do it. We continue to bring the information. We continue to add perspective. And better yet, what we do is add your perspective to the conversation. This is something that we intend to continue to do always. I see Johnson is saying, I had sardine and rice for breakfast. You see, Pamela, you could go to Cambodia. You weren't far off. Cambodia doing chicken and rice for breakfast. Pamela doing sardine and rice for breakfast. So it's not that different, right? Cecile Ogle, what's going on at your end? Cecile, I hope all is well at your end. I have missed this conversation. I have missed having the opportunity to come with you in the morning and just have this exchange. It means a lot to everyone. It means a lot to the FYI family. We do this out of complete love for you guys. We ask that you share. We ask that you do your part in disseminating the information, making sure that it reaches every nook and corner of this country, the Caribbean, in the diaspora, you know, wherever it is guys needs are residing. We want to make sure that the conversation gets to you guys. So it's absolutely important that you come on. You are what is the main stakeholder to this FYI platforms, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Continue to stay blessed. I see Adel Beckles. I think this is a newcomer to the floor, saying blessed day, hashtag family. And I am saying I'm tremendously blessed to have you here with us this morning, and all of the folks that's joining us. You are the reason why we come out here and we do this every single day. I see Don Sullivan is there this morning, says boiled egg, biscuit, and sweet sage bush tea. That is a Guyanese breakfast, okay? Boiled eggs, biscuit, sweet sage, bush tea. You can't all three right there. Guyanese, pure Guyanese. You know, I'm seeing, I am seeing as it's King Luke. Sheridan's in the background taking over the panel, saying happy birthday to someone. Who is that, Sheridan? Sheridan said, with that kind of breakfast, got to be your birthday. So you know how it is, you know. I see that Kim Lucas saying good morning. I just was on to your name, King. When I was interrupted here by Mr. Duncan. I am seeing pleasant good morning coming from Gwendolyn Alonso. Good morning to you. It's lovely to have you. I like calling that name Gwendolyn. I don't know, there's a ear to it that I like. A little bit of tongue rolling there. Mr. John Jones is laughing in the comment section, but we're going to be making way for my co-host to come on, but I'm still in the comment section with you. I see Dolly Anderson is saying lemongrass tea is It is from Brooklyn. Okay, I got you. I don't know, but we claim that. I don't know where, I don't know about that, but we claim that here. Bright, warm, and sunny there where Candy is, so we get that. Mr. John Jones and Beatrice is still at it. Guys, I want you to share the stream. I'm looking at the viewership right now. We have hundreds of view on, and we want to make sure that the platform is shared even wider. So make sure that you share the stream so other persons can be on board. So if you have not yet, just take a moment, share to whatever group you are in. Make sure that you share to those, and make sure that also that you share to your pages early this morning. And you know what we've been asking of you. Smash that emoji. I don't say it right. I don't say it like Sherrod says it. I don't know to do all the share antics and all of that. I am like, I have to get to that. I am not good at this share game as yet in telling you to share with the action. I see Ayaba said shared already. So Ayaba, move to the front of the class. All of you that's new, make sure that you share the stream. Let everyone be able to see it from your platforms. We are such an integrated world that once you share, other persons that are not on as yet will be able to get the information. It is just necessary for you to do that. Shout out to Cariveton Skeldon there. It's coming from Candy also. And for the folks that's joining us from Cariveton, I have to say it's absolutely lovely to have you with us. I always have a little bias and I'm aware of it when it comes to folks that joins us from out of town areas. And I always tell you guys is because I know the difficulty that they go through to actually be here on the programs in the morning. Internet connectivity, the whole 9 yards is extremely difficult. So whenever we have the folks that join us from out of town, particularly regions like Region 1, Region 9, Region 7, Region 8, those regions, I know the difficulty that persons have to get online. And I always give a little bias and I always give a bigger shout out to them because it is absolutely necessary that those areas that are starved of basic communication are actually getting to view programs like this. Fair and balanced information. We don't make it up. If it has not been ascertained, we don't bring it to you. I see Angel, and I don't know, my skin is so hot this morning. I don't know what's going on. My skin is super hot this morning. Goodness. I see Ingrid said shared. Marlon said shared. Great, great, great. Banga Mary for breakfast says Aubrey Lennox. Aubrey, you having it different this morning. Banga Mary for breakfast. I mean, that's like that. That's awesome. Very high in protein. Okay. I said, do you want to pick? Do you want to pick? Don't have to make it up, bro. Okay. I'm not going to get into that conversation. But guys, let us get into what we're dealing with this morning. As we wait on Mr. Duncan to join us, we are going to be getting straight into the morning papers. It's just absolutely crazy. I gotta take a breath for this. I'm going to wait on Sherrod for this one. I'm going to wait on Sherrod for the morning papers. As we start off the morning papers, you can understand why I'm going to wait on Sherrod for this because I think that there's a part of the discussion that needs to have. I need to have comments coming from Mr. Duncan on this matter. Morning papers, and as we look to the morning papers, you are going to be sharing the stream as we shuffle ourselves about at the back here. Make sure that you are sharing the stream. Come on, guys. Good morning to you. I see the Phantom is here with us this morning. I'm not sure if I should be scared of this. The Phantom is here with us this morning. Says good morning to you, MP. Good morning to you, Phantom. I don't know, Sherrod. I don't know how to take that one. That name kind of threw me off there for a little bit. Deborah, good morning to you, Deborah. I see Yolanda say, I just love your hair. Oh, thank you. My goodness, it stressed me out sometimes, but thank you. I like it too. I see is it Marla Aliclock says, blessed morning, FYI family. And Shirley said, I love to see Sherrod. Sherrod, things happening here for you.
Good morning, everybody. Good
Shirley
morning.
says she loves to see you.
I
I
love
don't
to see
know.
Shirley too.
I don't know.
So we
But
got
you
some
need to check on Tommy, Sherrod. Tommy was saying that asking if you were pressing your shirt like Sherrod press. I want to Tommy got cameras in his face.
starching too. You can see the starch. Some people see what I want to see. I was starching too.
Oh my goodness.
Starching that shirt. Guys, good morning. How you guys doing? Saif Ali, I see you there. See you there, Saif. Feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is.
Shirt feels like he's
We
missing
can, we can take it.
something.
We can take it like that.
I don't know what he's missing, but
We can take it so for the time being.
check where you get and
It's
take
really good
it
to
where you
have you.
want.
Good to see you.
It's great to be back. I love starting this program. I don't know. Look, Tommy is just cracking up. Tommy eyes missed the start yet, according to Sharon.
Uh-huh.
He was starting too.
Oh, Tommy was starching.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, you gotta put the starch, and then you gotta sprinkle some water and so on.
Oh my
You know, it's do the
goodness.
old-fashioned way. And make sure that we got to listen, guys. Bear with me a second. We can be up. Good to see you, Beatrice and Marlene Lorimer. Tell me all about my business. Shirley Creighton is here as well, and all you other beautiful, wonderful folks joining us. We're so privileged.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys, as we go into the morning paper, Sharon, if I can just jump into it
go right ahead.
now
I'm,
that
I'm,
you're
I'm almost
present
there. It's
here.
like right there.
So, guys, in morning papers, the first bit of news that we want to jump into, and as we bring it up there for you, is it's going to be something that we've been talking about for a little while. Let me just start off on that premise. And there are certain things that hits the news that as a woman, as a mother, you have a different kind of feeling to altogether, because the seriousness of life, it's just absolutely crazy that persons go out there and they do the most, and the system seems to take forever to work it out,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's absolutely crazy. I don't like to go through certain things. I always say that in the mornings, I don't if I can come here and just give positive news, it would be a great day. But we have to be reporting what is going on in Guyana. It just so happens right now that one of the things that we're looking at is an increased number when it comes to cases of rape. All
Believe it
right.
or not, believe it or not.
Particularly statutory rape, and I just want to say that it's crazy that we're seeing so much of that right now. I think a lot of conversations needs to be had, especially with young men. I think we are lacking severely when it comes to the conversations that's being had with young men and educating them within the system. I know that when I was in school, there was something called guidance. A subject called guidance, and persons would talk to you about various social aspects and things like that. Today in the school systems, they sought to improve that, and they have a system now that you have what is HFLE, health and family
Yeah,
life
yeah, yeah,
education. And I think that those things are absolutely necessary. But to cover it all, as parents, we need to train children. We need to take the time out and realize how important it is to instill certain values within them. But we have a case that we're looking at right now here. And I'm going to read it as is. Just give me the opportunity there. It says man gets 15 years for raping girl eight, an 8-year old girl. That's a child, little child, you know. And it says 33-year-old Ranford Williams, who raped an 8-year-old girl back in 2050, was yesterday sentenced to 15 years in jail. A jury convicted him last month on the charge of rape of a child under 16 years, finding him guilty of sexually penetrating the child on May 29, 2015. The court heard from the impact statement of the now 15-year-old survivor the trauma she still endures from the assault, which she said has not only left her hurt but caused her to develop a phobia for men, plagued by the thought that they would harm her. And
yeah,
I think this is what the impact statement. I think there's something that is very important for rape victims, persons that have been raped. And I'm not just even talking about the statutory rape now. I'm talking about rape, like just vicious, brutal rape, and not as this case was. And I think the case, in 20, this is 2020, 2022.
hmm,
This case took a while to get somewhere, but the family held out to get justice and having those impact statements. I've heard a lot of impact statements from rape victims, and I think we need to do better as a society as it pertains to teaching men how to operate around women. It's absolutely crazy, and I believe that we have a long way to go. We have to get to a point that we're more proactive with these cases, I think.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. And that was 2015. He would have been well into his 20s then, and an 8-year-old. Like what enjoyment could you find? And I'm certain with 15 years ahead of you, you have a lot of time to think, was that worth it?
Yeah.
Was that worth it? Right? What enjoyment could you get from an 8-year-old? You're well into your 20s. Oh, like, I don't know what's happening, how some people process life and process their thoughts and so on. But it's frightening. It's frightening. fighting.
Like I don't know. Like I have my daughter is 16 years old. She's gonna be 17 years old in December, and like when you read all of these things and so forth, it's hard for you to comprehend. Like my little daughter is 7. She's gonna be 8 just now. It's like looking at her age and just putting it into like just imagining the age of that child there at 8 years old. You have a very close comparison in terms of age. That's a child.
Yeah.
That's a child. And I
Yeah.
always say that persons like men that go out and rape little children, those pedophiles, as they are rightfully termed, pedophiles, I did say that they should be listed, that we should have a system in which those persons are listed so people know who they are.
Yeah.
Pedophiles should be listed. We should know when they come in the community. It should be something that is labeled, because chances are high numbers of them never move away from that, and they move to different areas doing the same things, finding new victims and leaving new traumas. A whole line of trauma is left behind them as they go forward in life to wherever they are. So they need to be listed. Persons need to know who they are. This is crazy, for us not to know who these people are, and for them not to be registered as sex offenders and things like that. So that's very crazy. 8 years old. It doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah, but he has a lot of time now to think. By the time he gets out, he's well into his 40s. He has a lot of time now to think and reflect on his actions and choose what he wants to do next.
Protect your children. We have to protect children.
Yep. That's what happened on that front.
Well, the Harbor Bridge, conditionally facilitates vehicles 18 tons and below, as repairs they're saying now it's at 75% complete. I don't know how I feel to go across the Harbor Bridge with it not being
you gotta look right and left. Anything coming down the river.
Listen, the Harbor Bridge
coming up. You gotta look right and left.
The Harbor Bridge has done some things before. There's one time, I don't know if you guys can remember, there's one time like years ago, it was actually the papers said a piece of the bridge floated away with the vehicle. Harbor Bridges do the most.
Yeah.
The Harbor Bridge does the most. I don't know.
I always when these boys in power. Some strange reason. Yeah.
I see Mr. Beckles here is saying it happens in foreign, as long as you are a sex offender, you are listed publicly. And that's what I was just talking about. So that's what we need to have here. That system needs to be here.
Correct is right.
Yep. As we move forward, Sherrod.
Yep. The next issue we're looking at, it's the Kaicho News issue. We're still on that front. And the persons who have been held with this are going to be held responsible for this Kaicho News robbery. A former staff, I think he's a former guard too from Kaicho News. And I think people called it very early that this was an inside job. Very, very early. People said this looked like an inside job. People knew exactly where the safe was, and knew how to get about the building. And so people said very early, this looked like an inside job. And there it is. Former staff, former security guard, and some other folks have been held overnight.
Well, when I came back yesterday, Forrest and Sherrod told me what that's Kaicho News got robbed. He told me several times. They robbed Kaicho.
That boy's robbed Kaicho.
So he said, Sherrod, they robbed Kaicho. So what?
Processing with processing.
You sound like my mother. My mother said that when again. They robbed Kaicho again. Well, she was reported to the case back in the days.
Just processing.
Yeah, so... Well, these are things that we've been seeing, and one thing that I'm glad about is that the police force seems to be pushing forward aggressively with this investigation, very quick, and I commend them.
Yeah.
You know how I am.
As soon as
I
them boys
credit.
come back with a law degree, they seem to be now a little more active, agile,
pacing.
Pick up the pace a little bit. As soon as them boys come back with a law degree.
Oh goodness, them boys come back with law degrees. Yes.
Practice now.
I know. Like some of them, I was super impressed. My goodness.
You impress easily. Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm talking about the young people. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you about the police force.
Man, come on, no.
Oh.
I'm talking about the young people.
So the other graduates,
yes.
You would in law school.
Come
okay,
on.
Good.
I'm super proud of that.
Good. Especially because
I'm not easily impressed, Sherrod.
A huge
Sherrod,
cohort.
come on, I take it back.
No, I was we were on the police force, and then you segue to be
when
impressed.
You said persons come back with their law degrees, That's not law degrees.
A couple of them from the police force are now going to be
You're talking
should they be admitted to the bar?
Oh, okay. I missed that one.
Yes, a couple of them.
I wasn't speaking about them.
A couple of them.
So take it back. I'm not easily
I take it back. Pull it back. But I just said. we put it back. We put it back. We put it back.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that's moving forward, and I think Kaiser News put if there's one thing that they should have learned here, and I have to say that I did believe that they had better security systems in place
Mm.
based on what happened before at Kaiser News, but they definitely need to ramp up their security because persons working there late at the newspaper, we dealt with newspapers and
Yeah.
how that work is done, and it's a lot of
Don't
late
remind
night
me.
work. So you need to have systems in place that protects your employees at all times. So let's just have that out there.
Yeah, but we're happy to see that the company has been able to recoup some of the millions that were stolen.
Yeah.
And the investigation move forward. The investigation move forward.
Guys, we
Watching that
know
as
things
well.
tight,
Yeah.
but don't go
Yeah.
stealing people's money. Come
We're
on.
watching that as well.
Yep.
Lots happening, folks. Lots happening, and some of it happening internationally, and we want to share with you some of the stuff that brewing internationally, folks. A couple of the things brewing internationally. First up, Rita, I don't know if
Oh,
we can lose you
of
here.
course.
We
Listen,
can lose you here?
no, you didn't lose me.
Okay, good,
Listen, I
Go
passed
right
but
ahead.
not done. You were the second person told me that this morning.
Go right ahead.
You see
I know
more.
you're young. No,
You know, Marta Shirota,
I'm sure I would lose April
actress.
here.
No, sure, you will not.
April we'd lose. We'd lose April.
Angela, she died at 96 years old. My goodness, if I don't say 80. She died at 96 years old, but I have to say something. I have to confess, this is not going to sound right, but I'm going to say it nevertheless. I didn't know she was still alive.
Mhm.
Like, seriously.
Mhm.
Like, when I born, this woman was old.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was looking at her on television in this whole murder she wrote. We had Bardika had one TV station. Let me just get down to basic.
Is it improved?
Well, I think that there is another one. It doesn't matter. Everybody just recognize one TV station in Bardika. TTS Channel 5, Tarsi television station, right? Nevertheless, so this is just before her 97th birthday.
Yeah,
Says
days
Ayabo.
before.
Yeah. So
before.
I used to be, and I'm saying like there's how it was back in the day, Sher. You used to have to go home. You go home and you're on home from school. There's nothing to capture and record and play.
Yeah.
You have to go at a specific time. Is it you get the program
You don't get
or
it.
you don't get the program? This is for
There's
who
no
had,
internet.
this is for who had television also,
Yeah,
right?
and then you
Because
gotta-
we took a while to get to that stage.
You gotta slap the TV back a little bit and all that, all
Yeah.
manner of things.
We took a while to get to that stage. Listen, for a large portion of my life, like guys, you know how I embrace my past. And it's absolutely necessary
That's like-
to embrace your
That's
past.
like 2 weeks you're talking about.
Right? So there was a large portion of my life that I didn't have a television and all of
That's
those
like
things.
two.
I think that's why
That's
I
like
did.
2 weeks
That's
you're
why
talking
I
about.
actually did books, Share. That's why I did books so often, because I didn't have a TV to look at.
Make up for it.
Yeah, I
You know what
didn't,
used
I
to
didn't
freak me
have
out?
a choice. Come on.
You used to see some folks in some areas that people window
Oh my god.
watching television. I never liked TV so much.
At people window?
Yes, watching
I
television.
never saw that.
But Angela Lansbury would have been worth it. Did quite a few movies, not only Murder She Wrote, but came in quite a few movies. And I think she, in one of the iterations of Wizard of Oz, she came in as well, if memory serves me correct. But when you read her biography, quite an accomplished woman.
Yeah.
And spanning so many decades of television and film and stage, quite a life, our life well lived. And I was happy to see her family said that she would have transitioned quietly in her sleep.
Yeah.
That's the way when you've had a full life like that. 96, fascinating life, folks.
Yeah.
Fascinating
But
life.
it's just,
96.
it's just weird for me that when you see certain things and certain people, it takes you back to a different time in your life. Like with her, like specifically, like the fact I actually had a typewriter, and then I had, the whole experience with the television. Someone was asking me there, Kishan is asking black or white or color TV.
Big back.
It was
tell you what
it was black and white. I had
was
the
a big
first
back
television
TV.
that we had was a black and white TV.
Big back TV.
And you had like those two tuner
Yes,
things.
you had to tune them, fine tune them, hit it back.
And there was like a
What
rabbit ears
Yeah,
thing, and it was like the whole 9 yards.
You had to tune the knob, and then you had to think the
And
rabbit
give it
ears.
two tap.
Yeah. Thank God for progress.
Thank God for progress.
That's what they call progress.
Oh my goodness.
Thank God
But
for
rest in peace there to Angela. She contributed. She left a legacy, and I think that is something that we all could could say that we want. We want to
Yeah.
leave that good legacy behind. We know that life, the process of life just takes us through. As you age, you get old, and then we die. Everyone, that is inevitable. So it's crazy that I see persons going out there and not considering the legacy that they're leaving
Yeah.
behind. And that's what's important to me. Legacy is important to me. I really don't care about a lot of things, but once I leave a positive legacy, so that your children, grandchildren will be able
Yeah.
to say, ah, that's where I
96,
came from.
96 folks, should we be so lucky, you know?
Right?
96.
I met a woman in Kitty just a few days ago, and she is going to be 90 years old in December. She's 89. She's going to be 90, and quite an amazing soul. Like I can say that she's absolutely amazing. So I love to have those. I love to have conversations with persons that have been here for a long time because they have lived through. I'm talking about black and white TV. They have lived through
Don't
everything
say
else.
black one, say big back TV. When you say big back TV, it says it all. You can say nothing more. You can see the tuna, you can see the rabbit ears, you can see the
And the screen very small.
yeah.
It's concave. I
TV,
don't know.
TV heavy as hell. So go on TV and TV. Now you can pick up one smart TV or along the road. Then big back TV. Have a 5 year doing. But I'm happy for progress. I'm happy for progress. You know, the people need to understand progress. They're progressing.
True.
Just like how you left them in 2050s, right? They come back and be them.
If it was black and white, the big back TV days, you want to come back to that again.
Them is like the big back TV. The world has gone on the smart television, digital, and they're still fighting up with analog. But that's the kind of thing we're looking at. You know, one of the interesting things we're following this morning, Twitter, and I thought this would be right up your alley, is what the IMF is saying about inflation internationally. Quite an interesting comments coming out of the IMF on inflation, and they're warning of this inflation fight, and talking about how costs globally are heating up and what governments can do to help. It's quite interesting when you read some of that, in terms of what they're saying. And let me see if I can capture some of it, and maybe Twitter, you can do us the honor of kind of interpreting the financial speak for us and the economic speak
Go ahead.
for us. But again, they're saying that geopolitical events like the Ukraine war and so on driving up financial stability risk, and that's something that they're looking at with a lot of concern, folks. A lot of concern, and you inevitably, even if you're a housewife, you're gonna follow these issues because it's going to dictate what people pay in the marketplace. And Julia, for instance, they're telling us here that the International Monetary Fund warned just recently of a disorderly repricing in markets. Disorderly, they say, saying that global financial stability risks have increased, raising the risk of this contagious in spillovers of stress between markets. It says here that the IMF said that storm clouds are looming over the global economy, including persistent inflation, a slowdown in China, and ongoing stresses in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which have driven up the risk of a severe downturn to levels not seen since the onset of COVID-19. Folks, it means that the financial outlook, it can be a little bleak. You got to brace yourself. Right? It's going to be a little bleak. You got to brace yourself. Judah.
Well, listen. Let me move directly to one of what you just mentioned, being the barrier between Russia and Ukraine and so forth, because there's a lot that has been happening, particularly that we just came out of COVID, and that whole 2 years that this was not something.
We're coming out of COVID, right? I mean, see, we out.
Yeah, exactly, right. So we
Becoming.
haven't even gone to a stage yet that we have completely come out of it. So there was a lot when it comes to the way in which the economy responded towards all of those changes. But again, I have, and this is where I'm going to get to when it comes to inflation. Forgive me for this, but if you have a plan, and if you're executing that plan efficiently and effectively, you're not going to be feeling the harshest consequences.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say this.
Yeah, but says brace it over.
That's true. I'm gonna say this in particular because when you talk about the war between Russia and Ukraine and the spill off and the market stresses, because there are several market stresses that you look at when you're looking at economics. But when you are talking about the way in which economies are integrated, and the fact that when something happens in one, it severely affects the other and so forth. You would think, you should think that countries like China that shares a border with Russia,
Yeah.
that the war is going on between Russia and Ukraine, you would think that countries like China that does massive trade with Russia will have skyrocketing inflation because hey, they're right there. Their trade is massive, right? We don't even, it's not even a drop in the ocean compared to the trade amounts that they're having. But then you look at China and what's China's inflation rate? China's inflation rate is there about like 2.3, 2.3%.
Hmm. Hmm.
So how do you
Yeah.
interpret that? It goes to show that
How come we
systems and
we just so
structures,
far
right?
we only 8-9%?
Right. It goes to show that you have to set your economies needs to be set in such a way you have to have a plan in place for, at the very least, we have been complaining bitterly about the way in which the government of Guyana is dealing with things. And I have told you before, I've told you time and time again that the Guyana government has been chosen, have been consciously chosen to put measures in place that are inflationary in nature, so that they will be able to actually report certain things. They want to report that a certain sector in the economy is booming, for example, constructions. And so what do? They put systems in place to make sure that those monies are out there circulating. When other countries, when large economies are actually looking at increasing the interest rate, we are decreasing it. And I try not to get too much into the complexities of it because I know a lot of persons don't get it. But we as a country, the government of Guyana has not done anything, any action that is aimed at reducing the inflation thus far. All of the actions that they have employed so far, they know it would either not add to any decrease. Well, inflation is something that you can't reverse.
Hmm.
Let's just get
Hmm.
that out of the way. We have been calling when it comes to the way in which persons are able to cope with the high prices. We have been calling for a reshuffle in the way in which the money is circulated. We have not been calling for new money to be injected, but we're saying that when budgeting, the money that they are already budgeting to be expended into the economy, that money, that portions of that money should be injected into the pockets of the public servants. Those category of workers, the most vulnerable in society, and so forth. We are saying that they need to have more spending power in order to deal with this. But we have to see the government on a different level, still using trickle down economics policy. Although everyone in the world says it does not work, we have the Guyana government saying, "Oh, we're going to make it work. We're going to show them." And the only thing that's happening is that persons are left without food. Basic
The
needs.
brainiacs we got here.
It's absolutely crazy, but that's
Yeah.
just the way in which it's happening.
Them smart boys, them smart boys. And while that is happening, folks, some other things that we're tracking internationally as well. In Peru, systems of government are so different as we examine different countries. In Peru, there's a new legal battle brewing because the president of Peru has been under investigations for so many things. And now the attorney general in Peru is again bringing a motion to parliament, again challenging the president and his authority. And what is really important here is how there's an independence in Peru between the Attorney General's office and the executive, right? That the Attorney General can pursue investigations that are independent of the executive, and this is really how it should be, so that you don't have conflict of interest, which is what we see here a lot of conflict of interest, and the Attorney General pursuing issues on a political basis, period, and not necessarily that is in the interest of the state rather, or its citizens. And that's what we thought was so different here. That here you have a president in Peru who seems to be have gone rogue, and whether it's the opposition, whether it's the legislature, or it's the an office like the Attorney General's office, trying to rein him in, and that's important. The checks and balances to executive, that is quite important in governance. But
Mm.
them boys don't understand it here as yet. So we're following these events here in Peru.
We haven't even gotten into the most basic of levels. When you look at it at the helm there, the helm of governance altogether, don't have it at the basic levels here in this country. My Sharon, we have a long way to go. I
Very,
don't even
very
want
long
to.
way. A very, very long way. And a big part of it is just It's just trying to take the politics out of it and to pursue what is in the real interest of our people. And that there is terribly, terribly lacking. Working in the interest of the. I don't know when we can start doing that. Don't know when we can start doing that. But that's one of the things that we're watching. Trying to get some more of the notation here about this latest bout, because there's lots of investigation of the president there in Peru. And guys, as we get more information, definitely.
Commissioner Cole said it. Don't ever expect Guyana Attorney General to challenge Ali. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen.
If you want to
Period.
keep your job now,
Hashtag brotherhood.
if you want to keep Commissioner
Commissioner
Cole,
Cole.
you able.
Commissioner Cole. Hashtag brotherhood.
Yeah.
That's just a sad reality if I
Yeah.
could put it over like that, But we don't see those things. We don't see
Yeah.
governance happening at a level that persons see the need to hold each other accountable. What we see, particularly with the administration, is that they tend to go into they have a cover up SOP. Their standard operating
Yeah.
procedure for cover up is one that is beyond, that is in check. They keep revising it to make sure that they have new methods to cover up
Yeah.
for each other. That's how I see it.
That seems to be the important thing. Guys,
Yeah.
remember joining us from this morning. Share the live for us. Smash the emoji button. I heard you to talk, but not being able to do so.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
to
I don't know what.
share
I
the
don't know. I
live.
don't know. I
It's in
think
your
I'm going
own
to look. I
aristocratic
think I'm
way.
going.
Share. Yes.
My aristocratic
Yeah.
ways.
And smash that emoji button for us, folks, as we turn our attention to some things that are happening regionally that we think you guys ought to know about. Some of the things that are happening regionally. And one of those things that we're going to be touching on this morning is quite a scare they had between JetBlue and Caribbean Airlines. The rivalry like a gun in the air now.
Oh my goodness.
The rivalry like a gun in the air, because the folks are telling us, JetBlue pilot had to take some invasive actions as this Caribbean Airlines aircraft approached its path. And one of the things that they are saying is responsible for that is the fact that this is in Trinidad airspace. One of the things that are responsible for that, you're in the air, you see a big plane coming towards you, you start singing that famous hymn, "Nearer My God to Thee." They said the radar system at Piarco was down during this near collision of this JetBlue and this Caribbean airline flight.
All right, so I'm just glad of this news that I read this when I was safely home on
You're grounded.
when I was grounded,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's nothing that you want to read
Yeah,
to that
like that.
nature when you are either
Yeah.
in the air or about to.
Because you look and say that all the time, like this is them Royal River here, boy. Yeah. You look and say that all the time. Anybody come? You roll up here clear. It's Guyana. It's be there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did read that piece, and they were at the same altitudes, and I just said it, and they were just going to collide if they didn't have that evasive action
Yeah.
done by the pilots.
Yeah.
And it goes to show that
Pilots gotta be key.
I was just about to say that
Pilots gotta be key.
the training that they undergo is absolutely vigorous, and you understand why, because the amount of lies,
Gotta be key.
it has been so, the commercialization of things, and that's in particular the industry when it comes to the airplanes and flying. And so when it comes to that service particularly, you see them continue to go as big as they possibly can, to cramp as many people as they possibly can into the single aircraft. So you have literally hundreds of people on one flight. So you understand how devastating that can be if it goes wrong.
And when you see some of these airports, you're coming in with some airports, and you're taking off, and if you overshoot that area, you're in the ocean, that's it. If you overshoot the airport coming in, you're in the ocean. If you lift off in time, you're in the ocean, right? And you're talking about those aircrafts. We took a British Airways aircraft from Antigua to St. Kitts, and those planes are huge. Those planes are huge.
Yeah.
The engine size to manage that transatlantic journey they are huge aircrafts, and so they need longer runways. In them little islands, you need them runway. You need a runway between, I would say, Stabrook Market and Ogle for some of them the size of the aircraft, right? But those pilots know their onions.
They do,
right? And by the time that aircraft goes to the end of the runway to turn back, right? Them guys need like a 3 seconds, and that aircraft is in the air. They take that engine full throttle,
Mm.
right? The other thing that I'm always concerned about, when you're coming into Cherry Jacket International in the evenings, I am always looking for the lights, always looking for the airstrip, and all I know we land. I don't ever see the lights. I don't ever see the, how these guys could determine that. Only they know, right? But I'm talking again about
Blue ray.
professional, professional. You
So,
gotta understand the job. You understand me? Much like leadership, you gotta know what you're doing,
oh my
right?
goodness.
It's crushing them, but it's
I want
crushing
to
the economy
say,
here, It's crushing
I want to say something that's
the
not
crushing
patriotic,
economy,
because
right?
it would be something else, to be in the mind of a pilot that actually comes and lands here, as
Yeah,
compared to
when
going
you
and
far
touchdown.
out, I can see a lot of lights, which I'm figuring is Georgetown to the left. And I'm looking for this runway. All I know you're on the ground. That's all I know. You're on the ground, right? You're on the ground.
Yeah,
And that's it.
they make it say several pairs sometimes when you're up there. I'm telling you, but a lot needs to be
Yeah.
done when it comes. Every time for the longest while we've been looking at the airport, and I know a lot of work was put in when during the David Patterson
Yeah.
tenure as Minister of Public Infrastructure, but then I
Yeah.
see what's going like. Sharon is
Yeah.
like, I don't understand what they're
Yeah.
doing at these
But in all
sections. It's
but
taking
it but
forever.
in all fairness, I tell you this. Um St. Kitts and Nevis, the airport in St. Kitts surprised me.
Oh,
It
really?
can look it could use some work. It can use I thought, we
Thought you
probably
had it
said,
bad.
yeah.
It's good to
We
travel.
have an international airport, folks. You respect CGIA. Beg you. Stop kind of drugs through, right? Especially curry, but respect CGIA. We are far away. We're far away. Not as far as we should be or could be. I turned up there in St. This way we change
Sharon
up.
said, stop curry drugs, especially in curry.
Especially curry.
Apologies, guys.
I was surprised. I was always pleasantly surprised, but I know pleasant is the word. You know, in lieu of the right word, I was pleasantly surprised. In lieu of the right word, pleasantly surprised.
Curry chicken on bricks.
Mm-mm,
That's
mm-mm.
not,
The
that's
airport there.
not.
Mm-mm,
Oh
mm-mm.
goodness. Guys, stop carrying
Different.
drugs. Come on. Let's
Stop it.
stop doing it. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 yeah. Stop it. Airport in St. Kitts.
Listen, so I heard a story, a friend of a
Mm.
friend was saying that they have
I shall explain.
they have the dogs that literally sniff right at the airports, and so she had a hamburger in her back,
The dog going
and a
there.
dog sniffed and run to her. She said
She gone
everybody that was
here.
next
She
to her
said,
clear
"Gone.
out.
Clear the way. There's one guy here."
She said everybody
One
was
guy
next to
here.
her cleared out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're not
yeah.
going to be there for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
You know, family, friend,
yeah.
whoever.
Yeah.
So it's on that shebang.
Taking hamburger though.
But it was just food.
Yeah.
It was just food,
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Guyanese
Interesting.
do carry food a lot. Like Guyanese do carry food a lot.
Mhm.
Like I know persons like my friend Candace, she was here. She's always going back.
Mhm.
There's certain things that she must take
Curry,
with her.
right? Curry.
No, she don't do curry.
She
Don't worry.
curry.
She's not like that. So, but Guyanese do carry food a lot.
Mhm.
But there's our guys. Listen, sometimes when I see where people hide drugs, like I'm thinking to myself,
Mm.
if you have that mental intellect, you should be doing something good with your life.
Channel it properly.
Who thinks about those things? Who thinks
Yeah.
about that? Who thinks
Yeah.
about putting drugs in curry?
Curry. Folks, let us know some of the best airports you will have passed through in the world.
Ah.
Some of the best. You know what? Let me share a story with you.
Yuli says, I still vex to see all that curry gone to waste.
Yes, that thing vexed me a long time, especially if you know you going home and you sure what meeting you there. You saw them men rummage through the curry. For find I want them buy slash the thing later. Yeah, they throw it out. Where they throw the curry, But let me give you this. So to get to Antigua, you got to go through Barbados. Barbados different.
Mhm.
Barbados different. Airport is very nice. I can tell you
Mhm.
that. The airport is very nice, right? But the Barbadians want you know that this is me, your country, and I can show you.
Tell me.
I can show you how. Barbados got buses. that take you from the aircraft to the
Mm-hmm.
terminal,
Mm.
and from the terminal to the aircraft,
Yeah.
right? So we're going through Barbados.
That's on the
And
international flight.
hold
Listen
on,
to me.
man. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
I
on.
got a boat to pick with him.
Hold on.
Continue, continue.
So I die. I said, I watching things. I said, I'm here, I'm looking up here, boy. Looking around the airport and so on. Things looking nice, Terminal 1, Terminal 2, gate and so on. When we got to the gate, we were supposed to be boarding the aircraft through. They said, bus will take you. I said, big fancy bus, though. Big fancy bus. Now, the aircraft is like 5 feet from where the bus pulling out from. I couldn't imagine. It's the bus right next door here. The man load me in the bus, go make a big turn, and come back right there. And that was the funny thing. When he come back right there, it's the wrong aircraft. It's the wrong aircraft. He's the one behind her. That was like 2 feet behind the one. So I said, board back. You can't walk over here. Barbados got money, people. Barbados got money.
That's okay. I don't money too, I think so.
Charita, you would have walked 5 steps and you don't feel it. Your breath and thing, it was hot, but you want to feel the 5 step. You understand me? It was drizzling, but it wasn't raining heavily. You want to get soaked.
That's the
5 step right there. The plane. I couldn't imagine. It's the plane I seen right. Like I could reach out from the terminal and touch the plane. The man drive the bus the big turn and come around. You know? And what was the most interesting thing too? What was the new airline? Inter-Caribbean. You know, I think these people are wrong, you know.
I commented that.
Right? You don't get your no food on Inter-Caribbean because perhaps you're going right by Barbados. Right? So we got now disembark, you got to go through the whole routine, take off your underwear, do the stool sample, the blood sample, and all that to board back. Right? When we gone back in another Inter-Caribbean, it's the same people. I said, we're on the same flight, me just see you. Me just see you. I'm on the right flight. And the stewardess said, yes, we're heading to Antigua. I said, just for save a little food. Yeah, put people through because I done buy a burger coming through the airport already. Looking for a little curry. You know, the different. From the terminal, you can reach outside and touch the plane. The bus make a big turn. I said, like we heading to Linden here now. Big fancy bus. You know, those buses that got
that
the
was
tube.
Inter-Caribbean.
Inter-Caribbean.
That was Inter-Caribbean.
From Guyana to Barbados. Inter-Caribbean. All aircraft, the things peeling down from on the window.
Because I was scared. I was scared when I saw it.
Oh, like, Father mercy. We different here, boy. Not a mercy, though. I said, at least we get a flag.
Listen, you can't be old.
Inter-Caribbean.
You can't be old and not strong in your legs to go with the Caribbean. I'm not even trying to be funny this morning. You can't be old because when the Inter-Caribbean Airlines, like they're smaller and so like they're kind of a little bit scary to think about crossing out with. But when you actually have to get out the stairs that you have to go down, you know, there's this space. You can't be old and short.
Oh, no. There was a tape, some kind of a tape.
It's ridiculous.
But a professional tape, but was taped nonetheless around the window. And the person next to me was trying to pull it. I said, at least the pilot got to do some, you know, evasive maneuver. That's left the tape. Some tape wrong the window, man. Look at that today.
So that doesn't get it.
New airline.
I've been to every part of this country, every part of Guyana, and I can tell you, like there was one particular flight that I was on. Like I could not believe the experience because I got into the plane from Ogle, and we were going to like region 1 or region 9. Either ways, nevertheless, the point is that it was raining heavily. We're up in the sky. It's raining. And I'm feeling water dropping on me.
What?
Can you not? I swear.
Water dropping in the plane?
So it's small, right? So
umbrellas?
I'm not far behind the pilot. So I'm saying to the pilot, I'm getting wet. He's like, yeah, the thing off fix.
He started fixing it there and then. Let me have a look at it.
I saw the thing off fix.
Toolbox. Let me have a look at it. folks be different. Barbados different though. I enjoy the bus ride, short as it was.
Mm.
I enjoy the bus ride, I enjoy the bus ride, short as it was. Big fancy bus, I said, look till him,
It's
man.
based on where you were going, probably. I don't know, but I've
Usually
seen
the
it.
aircraft was right there.
No.
Right there, same crew, right there. But I think they didn't want to serve food. They were trying to cut costs with food. So they said it like here. I think that's
But
the
when the
thing.
water started dripping on me in the plane here in Guyana for that flight, I think it was to Region 1, from Oval to Region 1. You know, when it started, at that point in time, I started looking at everybody else that frequently uses this air. This air.
You seem they're nervous.
The pilot didn't look nervous, and so
Look
it's
around,
also
look
like,
around. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. Evasive maneuver, folks. That's where we started. Before we started
segue.
to talk so beautifully about the airline industry in the Caribbean, you know, is the JetBlue pilot who took evasive action not to hit the Caribbean airline aircraft that approached that was in its path because of this dumb radar at I think I want the thief on the radar. You think the thief on the radar?
Oh
You
goodness.
remember one time the thief on the lights have the runway? Folks, let's move on. Let's move on. Because we ain't gonna come up this topic. Let's move on. Too many stories, guys. Too many stories. Do we have it there? Yeah, I think we're in the 5 nights,
Yes. Let's get into 5 nights.
I
Finally.
think we've been here a little while. We've been here a little while. Some of the things we're following locally, folks. A street has been named after Auntie Rita in Queens, New York. This was a lady who spent a lot of her life being very involved in the Hindu community in Queens, New York. She was hit down by a driver 2 years ago who fled the scene, and he was later apprehended. But the councilman and some other folks down there in Queens, New York, who by the way is Guyanese, have been pursuing the authorities to give honor to Rita and the work that she had done by co-naming the street after her. And so that was done quite recently. She's known as Auntie Rita there in Queens, New York, was a big personality in the religious community there. Guyanese do well anywhere they go in the world. I saw you came back with a little glow, Twitter. I'll give you a couple of days. Once you left the shore, I was looking in the mirror when I came back. I had a little thing. By the time you start reading the papers and engaging the daily affairs in this country,
I have a glow. I don't know.
People do well once you leave this country, and that was Rita.
People said that. I've been getting comments. I don't know where this. What is this glow?
Yeah.
I haven't been seeing it myself, but you see it, so that's great.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't start fading.
Congratulations. I think this is a great moment.
Yeah.
It's a great step to acknowledge the work and contribution that she has made to that community. We have had like so many Guyanese, and I continue to say that go abroad, live in the diaspora, that work extremely hard, and they fly that flag very proudly. People that we should be extremely proud to call Guyanese, and Rita being one of those. So I say congratulations to her. I know this is a really good mark for Guyana and Guyanese in the diaspora. And we want to see more persons out there like making a positive impact in the lives of others and being recognized for it. So congratulations once again.
Yeah. I see Rhonda saying congratulations to that JetBlue pilot. And we should have said that.
Yes,
we should have said that. Yeah.
We should have said that.
Excellent job. Excellent job.
We
That could have ended badly.
Yeah.
Could have ended badly.
Excellent work here. I'm sure he's going to receive some sort of acknowledgements.
Yeah. And that was a real pilot. But this local doctor, in his heart of hearts, believed he was a doctor. This local personality, in his heart of hearts, he said he was a doctor. Right? Rita went to UG. She did economics as her undergraduate degree. She went on to do policy,
public admin. Yep.
Public admin at the master's level. And she did that for real, right? And the magistrate yesterday, for real also, ordered some psychological evaluation for this young man, Mr. Mikhail McLennan, and also he was placed on $80,000 bail. He's to return to court later this month. He said in his heart of hearts, he's a doctor, and for many months, for a long time, he pretended that he was a doctor, saw patients and all of that, saw patients and all of that, and no questions were asked. Cheryl, I see you there. Cheryl Pancham, I see you there, Cheryl. Right? But for real, right? He was placed on $80,000 bail and psychological evaluation. And I was making the point, because of the country we live in, I was talking to an attorney just last evening, and because of the country we live in, where issues of race run high on a daily basis, it's not like It used to be just election time.
Mm.
You got this whole issue of race. But it's very pervasive now, ubiquitous almost. On a daily basis, you're facing issues of race. And people inevitably got some blind spots if that's all you see life through, the lens of race. And so if Drita, for instance, put on a stethoscope and a lab coat, no questions would be asked. Some other folks, they want to know where you study. Of course, they want a stool sample, blood sample, and all those kinds of things, right? Because people got those blind spots and those biases, right? You look a certain way. If
Subliminal.
Brazilians are in place or
Subconsciously, I think too. A lot of times.
Latinos are the in thing, then you can pass through some doors and no questions asked, no reasons given. That's the blind spot people play to. And that's why lots of the con artists that you see play to those blind spots.
Yeah, and I think I want to add to that that a lot of times it's done subconsciously. Like we have had a system generations and generations within the system that subconsciously you don't even see the error. And I did talk about it when we spoke about the matter with the Queen's College welcome intro, the video that they had, and the fact that they didn't even. I told you guys, I said the biggest issue is that they didn't even see
It's a blind
that
spot.
there was a problem in there. So it's like we have to get to a point of realization. The same way in which we have so many things that have so many conversations that are being had right now in the world that was not had before, especially when it comes to looking at things through a gender lens to make sure that you have some balance when it comes to gender, when we are looking at different budgeting and all those things should be done through a gender lens and so forth. In Guyana, we need to look at things through that ethnic lens to say, hey, is this ethnically balanced? If the country has X proportion of a specific ethnicity, isn't it supposed to show somewhat of ethnic balance when we're moving forward with so many things? So we have a long way to go, but I do get your point because subconsciously, a lot of times those things do happen.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing too, while we talk about Dr. McHale, and while this is even more swift because perhaps the people he has offended, you know, we keep seeing in the news this woman from this medical school and nursing school over and over and over again, right? Again, it's a blind spot.
No, but I think he should get. I do believe he should get psychologically.
Both of them, right? Both of them. I don't see the woman who is this scam artist with these medical schools and nursing programs and so on being treated the same way. Again, that's a blind spot because of who you are and how you look. You're going to throw a sign on the door. People pour in because it's one of us, right? Some other people, not so much. It's a blind spot that we have. Some shops would thrive in some areas. And if I go and open a business there, you know, outside of the politics, you know, by just being the person I am, people wouldn't step inside the door, right? How come Chinese supermarkets thrive wherever they're placed in this country? That's a blind spot. Nobody's looking at them, right? But then look how some folks think about the rest of us. You know, you had some men who were caught on camera saying, you know, if they weren't corrupt, we'd be surprised then. You know, that's a blind spot. That's a blind spot. You see, the people they deal with, the first impression they have, that everybody's taking money on the tips. This whole country is corrupt. Corrupt people.
I did say they were babies that were born that grew in a system from birth to 22, 23 years old, that all they knew was a system of corruption. That is the way of doing things. It has been institutionalized. Every institution, it has a corrupt practice, and that's the way in which you get things done. And that's the country that we're living in. That is the system in which the coalition was working to dismantle. Those are not things that you can change overnight.
I will continue to work to dismantle as well. Yesterday in a press conference by the leader of the opposition and the leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Mr. Aubrey Norton, again reinforced that there is room, there's capacity, there is in this contract to renegotiate, to amend, to alter this contract. Here is Mr. Norton speaking about that during that press conference. Just yesterday, the PNCR's press conference, just yesterday, Mr. Norton, on this issue that we can relook at this contract.
I have long said that the opportunity should be taken with the new PSAs to get a better deal for the people of Guyana. We maintain that position. We believe that there is need for a proper approach to foreign investment, including Exxon. One, deals that put these people first and ensure that we get the benefit. Two, mechanisms to train Guyanese and have them involved so that more and more Guyanese become knowledgeable of the sector and are involved in the sector. 3, mechanisms for technology transfer so that we can become au fait with the technology and be able to work and operate in the oil and gas sector. It is easy to say, to make open statements. What we need is to carefully state the things that we need done so that in the final analysis, there are more benefits coming to Guyana. I repeat, the APNU AFC, as I understand it, we believe that the opportunity must be taken to get a better deal moving forward. That is the reality. I also want to say this. I've pointed out more than once that there is a clause in the agreement that allows the two parties, the government and Exxon, to meet and negotiate and make changes as is necessary. I believe if the government was competent, they would have begun backdoor discussions, because a lot of these discussions in the early phase, you will have to do them quietly. They should have opened discussions on this contract with the aim of engaging Exxon in keeping with the law to make the changes that are needed to ensure the people of Guyana benefit. I also want to state this. You can make changes and only the PPP, elite friends and family benefit. As is happening now, we also need to take it to another level, that when we make the changes, mechanisms are put in place, other persons outside of that elite to benefit. One of the dangers we face is that as presently structured, we could increase the wealth to a small amount of people and increase the poverty to the majority of people. So, in addressing this issue, we also have to address the distribution of income so that the people of this country can benefit, and all of those the APNU AFC is in favor of.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep, those are the comments coming from Mr. Aubrey Norton, you know, and as I was listening to him there, even with the headline that says there's room for changes in the Exxon contract, you know, the only thing that's coming to my mind right now is that I'm fresh off coming back from a training program there in Canada when it comes to audits, particularly the Canadian Audit and Accountability Foundation that put together that whole bit. And one of the meetings that we had was with the audit office, the Auditor General at the Audit Office of Ontario. And, you know, it was one of the most interesting part that I found is when she said that when she was going through the type of audits that they do, because we are going into performance audits, right? And how things have been performing, or how various projects and so forth are being done, if it's value for money, basically, to put it over in that sense. One of the things that they said that they audit contracts to see if the contracts have been put together in a correct way, or if the contract was put together in such a way that it benefits a certain person or a certain section of society, and all of those things. They said that they audit how contractors were awarded contracts, if it was done in a transparent way. We have never once had that here again.
Wow.
Never
May no
once.
fine.
Never one. So, you know, the first thing that came to my mind, I was listening to her speak there, and that's the Auditor General of Ontario there. I listened to her as I was listening to her speak, I was thinking to myself, this Exxon contract probably is one of those contracts you could probably look to where you want to strengthen, or what are the strengths of it you want to keep, what are some weaknesses you may want to strengthen a little bit, and so forth. But I'm like, oh my God, like you going back to Guyana, like this is going to be like, they're going to make this sound like rocket science.
Always the exception.
You know,
Always
but
the exception.
there's everything that is put down there, there's always room for improvement, particularly as time moves forward and the change in dimension of the way in which things are being done in the world. Nothing can be written in stone, because the fact of the matter is every year it brings new challenges, it brings new relations with different countries, especially in the oil and gas sector. Definitely there's always going to be room for improvement and strengthening of those contracts. That's my opinion. It has always been my opinion.
Yeah. And while we were watching at that yesterday, at our press conference, it was boots on the ground for the folks outside the Guyana Elections Commission yesterday, of course, Rita, demanding a clean voters list among some other things.
I'm happy to see persons going out there, continuing to go out there to demand a clean voters list, because we've been talking about it and we've been telling you guys that we are nowhere close to being where we need to be when it comes to the system at GCOM, the list at GCOM. There's no point in going to an election if you are going with the same list. The list has been said have been completely bloated. This is a big deal. I'm telling you, it's a very big deal. The list doesn't reflect the actual population and the data that came out of the census. We are currently in another census, and we're going to be looking at that even more. But when you look at the amount of persons on our list as compared to our actual population, it's absolutely crazy. It doesn't make any sense. It's not rational. And so we continue to ask for a clean voters list. This is something that we've been banging on for a while. There's no point in saying that you're going to an election if the system has been skewed against you even before you enter the polls. And that's the fact. That is my opinion on it. I feel very strongly about that.
Here's some of what took place yesterday afternoon outside of GCOM on High Street there in Kingston. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
Who must go? Who must go? Who have to go? Who have to go? A clean voters list. Clean voters list. A credible voters list. A credible voters list.
Or no election.
A clean voters list.
Or no election.
A clean voters list.
Or no election.
A credible voters list.
Or no election.
A credible voters list.
Or no election.
Who should go?
Claret must go.
Who must go?
Claret must go.
Who have to go?
Claret.
Who have to go?
Claret must
A
go.
clean voters list.
Well, Sherrod, the call of the APNU AFC is that we must have a clean voters list so as to go into any elections that might come in the future. And so I join in support with all parties that are in the APNU AFC to ensure that we have a clean voters list. And so that's the main reason for being here today. Thank you very much.
Or no elections. Or no elections.
Or no election.
Credible voters list.
Or no election.
Credible voters list.
No election.
Who must go?
Claret must
Who must go?
Claret must go.
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 Who must go?
Claret got to go.
Who must go?
Claret must go. No election. No election.
Clean voters list.
No election.
Clean voters list.
No election.
Clean voters list. Clean voters list.
The devil must go. No election. No election.
Or no elections. Or no elections.
Who must go?
Claret got to go.
Who must go?
Claret must go.
Who must go?
Claret must go.
Who must go?
Claret must go.
Clean voters list.
No election.
Clean voters list.
No election.
Credible voters list.
No election.
Credible voters list.
No elections.
Who must go?
Claret must
Who
go.
must go?
Claret must go.
Intend to have free and fair elections, one of the first things you need to have is a clean voters list. If you have a list that is bloated, it allows for corruption and you would not be able to get the will of the people manifested. So your first task really is to get a clean voters list. As part of getting that clean voters list, or after you would have gotten a clean voters list, you also need biometrics, which will allow us to get rid of people voting more than once, which is a common practice in elections, especially in PPP areas where there are difficulties in monitoring. So biometrics are important. But a clean voters list is part of a democratic process. It is also important to note that when the PPP lost in 2015, they argued that the list was bloated. We began to clean the list, and then they themselves went to court to stop it. So they were demanding a clean voters list. Additionally, every international observer that observed the last election demanded or made it clear that the next election cannot be held with the present voters list, because that is a recipe for tension and confusion. So there is need for a clean voters list if we are going to have democratic elections and results which are acceptable to all. That is the bottom line.
Thank you, sir.
Who must go? Who must go? A clean voters list.
Or no election.
Clean voters list.
Or no election.
A credible voters list.
Or no election.
A credible voters list.
Or no election.
Who must go?
That at the recount we found quite a number of thousands of persons who voted that were not in the country and that they were dead. And we are quite aware of that. So we're saying that you must clean the list. And also we demand biometrics at the place of poll to avoid a repetition of what took place in 2020.
Thanks very much, Chief Scrutineer. Folks, Carol Joseph herself, and the parliamentary opposition, the opposition Chief Scrutineer.
Must go! Must go! Must go! Must go!
That's how it went down yesterday, folks. Hope when we call the next protest, you guys will be boots on the ground.
Must go!
Boots on the ground.
Must go!
Yeah, that'll be boots on the ground. Yeah. Great to have you guys here. I think that's going to do it for us this morning at this end. Good morning to David Prasad David, and all the other folks who've come out to watch the show. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yes, good morning to all of you wonderful folks who joined us this morning. And I always like to see persons coming in with their varying opinions.
Yeah.
It's welcome here. So have a great day. Make sure that you join all the other programs. Make sure that you share the stream. For folks that have different opinions, make sure that you share the stream too.
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
love to have all of you on board. See you back at 12 and then again at 8 p.m. and make sure that you partner with us. Make
Yeah,
sure that you get
yeah.
on board and partner with us so that we'll be able to continue to give credible information moving forward.
Yeah. David Prasad, remember to partner with us.
Partner
Prasad
with
David,
us,
please do. Have a fantastic day.
Have
Stay
a good day,
safe.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.